When you started, was that always a goal to open up a brewery like this in Santa Clarita?
No, well, at the time, we were the first wave, right? Our tagline is craft before it was cool.
Yes. Hey Master Drinkers, welcome back to another exciting episode of Brews with Masters. So this week we're out in Santa Clarita visiting Wolf Creek Brewery. Now they've been around since before craft beer was a cool thing. So why don't we go inside and hear their story.
Our brewery location we put up nearly 7 years ago. We started in our restaurant as a brew pub nearly 23 years ago. So this location, we've been around since May 1st, about 7 years. This is a great indoor-outdoor space, and we are very fortunate to have found such a great space to have here. It's a little bit out of the way. We call it a hidden gem, and a little bit hard to find the first time, but once you find it, you get it, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Most of the time, people call our space a really easy space, and it's very flexible in terms of what you can do with it. So we do a lot of different events here. We partner with a lot of different nonprofits within our community, and that's been one of our favorite things about this space is our ability to use it to give back and to do some great things within our community.
I'd love to talk more about Saugus High. That's something that there's a fundraiser going on today actually, right?
Correct. So the fundraiser today is for Saugus High softball. As you know, a couple months ago, Saugus High was the site of a shooting, which was really scary in our community. I was on lockdown at my house when the shooting was going on.
Jeez, it's such a huge tragedy.
Terrifying.
It is terrifying.
And I know several of the people involved.
Oh, jeez.
And it's just mind-numbing to think that could happen to somebody.
Well, I mean, considering that it was such a terrible event, it is a beautiful thing to see everyone come out and support, to try to help and fix and make a change.
We live in a really great community, and that's one of the things we love about having a business in this community and living in this community, is that it is unique in that it really pulls together. They support the nonprofits really well here, and just in general is a caring, great community to be in. We were scheduled to have Saugus High baseball team do a cornhole fundraising tournament on the Saturday. We debated with the people who were running the team on canceling the tournament, postponing what should we do, and it was their idea to turn it, instead of a fundraiser for the baseball team, to give it back to the community, basically the Saugus Strong community. And so in the space of 2 days after they made that decision, people came out of the woodwork to support it. Cornhole players and just community members from all over came out. Our typical tournament runs about 30 to 40 teams. We had 100 teams that day.
Jeez.
And we raised
100 teams.
Nearly $9,000 in one day, in the space of, we turned it around in 3 days. And so that was one of the things that you feel really good about what you're doing and having a business that enables you to give something back in a time like that. Our business model was, rather than spending a lot of money doing advertising and doing things like that, we would rather donate to local events and do something that can help bring people in the door that way. We believe that the community has supported us throughout the years, and we owe it back to them to support the community. It's just fundamentally who we are.
Having show him back very nice. I know. I don't think people remember how good he was.
Playing a cornhole tournament for Saugus softball fundraiser. So we're looking to have some fun and just support the girls softball team and just have fun so that they can participate in tournaments, equipment, balls, etc. So we have extra funds for them for that. Thank you so much to Wolf Creek Brewery for letting us use their location and helping us with this fundraiser.
So we get proceeds from the tournament, proceeds from Wolf Creek, and proceeds from our food vendor today, which is Wicked Chicken.
What is your favorite beer from Wolf Creek?
I like them all. can't go wrong with Wolf Creek.
What beer would you recommend pairs well with the chicken that's out here today?
Oh, for sure. The Desperado IPA goes down so smooth after you've been grubbing on some wicked chicken.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking the new Hybrid Hazy IPA. First time I've actually had it here. Normally a Desperado fan, but saw this one up there and figured I'd give it a shot. Really tasty.
Nice. And what does it mean to you to have someone like Wolf Creek to support an event like this?
Wolf Creek has been great for this cornhole community. We actually used to have our league here weekly. Unfortunately, we outgrew it. But you know, it's really nice to have a brewery like this where you can come, hold events, get to know the people, feel comfortable coming out for these, and then of course coming back when there isn't something going on. But it's a great group of people here, great group of people running this place, and they make good beer too.
I read a story that in a lot of ways you were the one that kind of inspired your husband Rob to make beer, right? You're working at a cheesecake factory, is that right?
Right.
So would you mind kind of elaborating on that story a little
So we
bit?
met working together at the Cheesecake Factory, and at the time we were both really into wine, and he is an engineer by background, and you know, always was really good at cooking and creating and doing all of that stuff. And so I think inspire is probably too big of a word, but
Okay.
I did buy him his first home beer kit with much trepidation. I was not at all sure that this was going to be any good, and was pleasantly surprised with the first batch that it was really drinkable and then the journey sort of started there.
Did that spark the interest right away, or did it slowly develop in time?
It pretty much sparked the interest right away. Like I said, way back when, many years ago, we would drink a lot of the imports or Sierra Nevada. Those were kind of our two choices. And I just always have been attracted to beer. And so, you know, we had talked about doing some home brewing, and then one Christmas, Laina bought me the homebrew kit. She didn't think it would come out that well, but I made a pale ale, kind of along the lines of trying to duplicate Sierra Nevada, and it came out pretty good. So
I would
it
say
just
so.
kind of took off from there to the point where we had the crazy idea of doing a restaurant of our own with a brewery in it.
When you first opened, it was April 1st of '97, is that
Yes,
right?
April
Officially.
Fool's Day.
April Fool's Day, yeah.
Yes,
What was
yeah.
the meaning behind that? Was it just coincidental?
Yeah, we were delayed. I tell this story. So we partnered with one of my good friends from college who helped us write our business plan. We were roommates in college. She went on to Harvard, got her MBA. Our story is that she helped us write a business plan, and we got friends and family to invest in Wolf Creek, and went and got an SBA loan. And by the time we got open, we had $1 in our checking account. We were 2 months behind schedule, and we didn't have our brewing equipment yet. We were waiting. We got the last equipment built by a company that went out of business, and so we were the last one to get delivered, and we were delayed months, and we had to open. We didn't have a choice. So it was like, okay, well, April Fool seems appropriate at this point, right?
Yeah, no,
so
for
we
sure.
were really lucky. Basically, we have great people that work for us, and we worked really hard, and the community supported us. And you know, for a couple of months, they were like, "What's that room over there? What's that going to be?" We bought craft beer, which was exceptionally hard to find back in '97, and we decided from the beginning that was the only thing we were going to have on our taps. And people went a little nutty at first, like, "Why can't we get big beer? Why, you know?" And we just stuck to our guns, and we didn't do it. And you know, 20 years later.
You obviously did something right.
Yeah.
What would you say was the first official beer that you made under the banner of Wolf Creek?
It was our Golden Eagle Ale. The regular crowd, I mean, back then, probably like me, people had Sierra Nevada, but for the most part, most of them were drinking Budweiser, Coors, and Miller. And so they would come in and they would ask us for a Budweiser, Coors, or Miller, whatever, and I would always say, well, we don't have that, but if you go down to Ralph's, the market right next to us, you can pick some up there. But what we do have is our Golden Eagle Ale, and it's a blonde ale, and it's kind of a little step up, obviously, from American style blonde, but it has a lot more flavor than your Bud or your Coors, and so they got hooked on that. And the funny part is those regulars started out drinking the Golden Blonde, and they're still coming in today after all these years, and now they won't drink anything but IPAs and stuff like that.
So in a lot of ways, you help people see the light, that there is such thing as good beer outside of those bigger domestic brands.
Yes.
What two beers you have in front of me here?
This is our Holy Moly Stout. It's actually an imperial stout that we brew with cacao, cinnamon, and 2 different chilies. There's mulatto chilies and ancho chilies in there. And we actually take the whole chilies and let the beer rest on that for quite a long time. Now those chilies aren't considered real spicy chilies, but they do contribute quite a bit of flavor.
Okay.
And then with this kind of what we powdered in it was a mole sauce, being in Southern California, and I just felt that was one of those experiments where you get this idea in your head, and I thought, okay, I think this might go well with a stout. You can kind of get those roasted flavors, and then everything else we threw in there, and it's a fun beer.
What's the beer that you have to your right over here?
This is our Outlaw IPA. It's one of our IPAs that we do a couple of times a year, and it's Mosaic, Galaxy, a lot of the popular hops right now. Just big hops, only 2 row malts, but we still make it somewhat balanced. I just like that in a beer, and it's been a real popular one for us. So.
Nice. What do we have here?
Well, this is our Bavarian style Hefeweizen. We call it Hell and Hef, and this is our hazy IPA. It's kind of a hybrid, a little more bitterness than some of the hazies, but it's become pretty popular. Obviously, the hazies are a big thing right now, and so yeah.
Awesome. So diving into the Hef, was this one of the original beers that you had when you first started?
Pretty close to when we first started. It was shortly after we opened, I think in the spring, because we used to brew it just seasonally, kind of a spring summer beer, and then it became so popular we just started brewing it all year long.
Which is a great thing.
Yeah.
It's a good problem to have, absolutely.
Yeah. But I always enjoyed the Bavarian style Hef just because of the different flavor complexities and whatnot, rather than, there's a place for the American Hefs. They're just pretty straightforward, real refreshing, but the Bavarian seems to have a lot of character. Our Bavarian Hef is a little different. There's quite a few Bavarian Hefeweizen yeast strains, probably 4 or 5 popular ones, and ours is a little different where it doesn't have so much banana. It has a little banana, but you get some apricot in there. You're going to taste the wheat malt, and you also get some cloves in there in the background. So you get the spices of the Hef and also the banana, but it's lighter, and then apricot.
Nice. So we're going to go ahead and dive into it.
Sure.
I hope you're okay with that.
Oh yeah.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Thanks again, Rob. Cheers to you, master drinkers. Just off the nose alone is fantastic. Wow. Everything you just said is right there. I get a lot of the apricot, actually.
Yeah,
it's kind of surprising.
yeah.
Kind of surprising, for sure. It's a subtle apricot, though.
Yeah.
It's not overwhelming.
It's not overwhelming.
I do appreciate that the banana clove isn't as present in the beer. I myself, I do like Belgian style wheats, Hefs, and whatnot. But the banana and the coriander are the 2 flavors that kind of throw me off every now and again.
Yeah.
That one is a very subtle banana flavor, which is incredible. Great job on that one.
Yeah.
The
And originally
sweetness-
I picked that yeast strain because it sounded a little different from the heavy banana yeast strains, and just really liked it and have kept it ever since.
You have a hazy IPA here, right? So would you mind explaining to our viewers exactly what this beer is?
Well, the hazy IPA, what we do is we brew it with quite a bit of oats, and also a lot of wheat malt, and that kind of increases the body a little bit, gives it a little bit of that creaminess, and smooths it out. And then we hop it pretty well with in the kettle, whirlpool, and dry hop it again. So 3 different stages. So a lot of hops. The yeast we use is a yeast that is for a hazy IPA. It doesn't clear out well. It just stays hazy. But with the oats and the wheat in there too, that kind of helps to keep it cloudy like that.
Absolutely. And what hops are you using in this beer?
Oh gosh, this one we use, I'm trying to remember, we use Citra, Mosaic, El Dorado, and a little bit of Australian Summer, which is a real fruity hop, kind of melon, and then I think that's it.
I'm excited to try this beer. I've actually never heard of the Australian Summer, so that's a new
it's
hop.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
It's we use it and blend it with a lot of other hops, and it kind of brings out the fruitiness of some of those other hops.
So what flavor should I be picking up when we sample this hazy IPA?
This one's going to have a lot of citrus, a lot of fruitiness, and then a little bit of bitterness, and then you get that creamy mouthfeel, smooths it all out.
Gotcha. And where does the alcohol stand on this hazy IPA?
This one is 7%.
Okay. Nice. Well, let's dive into this one. Cheers to you again,
Cheers.
Rob. Thank you. One for the house. Cheers to you, master drinkers. I'm actually going to take a second sip of that because that was a very refreshing beer. That is incredible. Exactly how you described it. Very fruity in the beginning. It does have a nice dry finish, which is pleasant. A lot of hazy IPAs tend to be sweet all the way through.
Right.
It just kind of gets bland after a while.
That's why we kind of call ours a hybrid hazy, but
I like it. I like it. It's very refreshing. No pun intended. That is I like the approach that you took with this particular beer. And the nose is very different than the taste. I actually picked up some melon on the nose, but I didn't necessarily pick it up on the taste. So I'm assuming that's maybe the hop that you used. One. That is a lot of fun. Wow. Well done with this beer here.
Thank you.
Audio Jungle.
What beers are you working on right now? I know earlier you mentioned a barreled aged beer that you're kind of working on. Is there anything fun that we should be looking forward to?
This one we're actually going to bring out for our anniversary. This is a Belgian style triple that we brew probably a couple times a year. Really great Belgian triple. We actually won a gold medal for that at the San Diego Craft Brewers competition. And some other awards for it too. But we really like that beer, and I always felt that Belgian style triple would go really well in white wine barrels. So because of the restaurant, we were able to build up a good relationship with J. Lore Winery up in Paso. And they gave us the barrels. Usually you have to buy them, but because
it's quite the relationship.
Because we just had to drive up there and pick them up ourselves. But heck, going to Paso, there's breweries and wineries up there that you can stop on the way.
Just turn that into a weekend.
On the way back. But these are J. Lore Chardonnay barrels, and we put our Belgian triple in there, and we actually put guava in this time. We've done the triple before. It's probably a year and a half ago, where we did peaches and passion fruit, and that one went over really well. But this time we thought we'd try something different, so there's guava in there along with the Belgian triple, and it picks up a lot of the wine barrel flavor. Obviously, these are freshly dumped. We went up there and picked them up, right after they dumped the barrels, so I brought them back and filled them. And, so yeah, that'll be fun. We did one last year that was really popular. It's kind of a warm weather beer, and it's our tangerine honey wheat. And it's an American style wheat beer. Again, there's a good base for adding things to it because it doesn't have the complexities that the Bavarian does. But we add real tangerine to it, and then also some wildflower honey. And that's from a local honey farm out here, Bennett's Honey, up the 126, going towards Ventura. And so we built a little relationship with them, as have a lot of breweries, and get the honey from them. They have a lot of different varieties, so it's fun to play with. We brewed a collaboration beer with Pocock, one of our fellow brewers out here, and we did one where we used some of the honey in that. So it's fun. It's fun to play with.
What events you have throughout the week that people, our viewers specifically, can look forward to?
Sure. So we do live music spring through fall. We do live music on Tuesdays and Fridays as part. Tuesdays is part of our Community Nights program. We partner with a different local nonprofit every month, and we donate a portion back to them. And we do live music and food trucks. Friday nights we do the same, just to have fun for everyone. Currently, we have this beautiful structure on property called the Spiegel Tent. I don't know if you saw it when you came in.
Not
You'll
yet.
have to check that
Not
out.
yet.
That lives here for several months throughout the year. We do a big October. We kick it off with a big Oktoberfest, and then we utilize it for different events, weddings, corporate events, and right now we're doing trivia once a week in the tent, which is super fun. Because our space is such an outdoor space, the winter can provide some challenges, so having that here makes it for a lot of fun. And then super exciting news, we just signed with a company that is bringing Celtic axe throwing down to our facility. So that's going to be starting in March.
Did you hear that, Master Drinkers? Come throw some axes and have a beer.
Right, makes perfect sense.
Absolutely.
Right? That's not scary at all.
No, not at all. Not at all.
We're celebrating our 23rd anniversary on Sunday, April 5th. We're doing a big party here. We should have the inaugural axe throwing events will be happening, bands, food trucks, the whole deal. And then we're very involved with the LA Brewers Guild. In fact, I'm currently serving as president of the LA Brewers Guild. So we work with them on LA Beer Week for the last this will be 5 years. We produce a beer fest during LA Beer Week called BFE, which is for the perimeter breweries around LA, and we do that as a fundraiser for the Guild, and that's a really fun event. That will be Friday, June 26th.
Gotcha. Now, it'll be hosted here at your brewery
with 20 plus breweries.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Definitely a fun day to come check out.